the way.
Okay.
Oh man, we're not doing the anymore?
I know.
Oh my God, we're evolving.
So roll one, scene one, take one.
You want me to sign up and sing, which I can't. Anything what you guys want to do.
You
So.
should do it. So there's a little subscribe button.
Do it.
The subscribe button.
We still have the 50.
I know.
We need to get
have
the
a
50 for
challenge
the
that.
banjo.
Yeah. Right.
That's not me.
That's me! Hold on. wait, we're gonna take two? Welcome to our rice, beans, and root vegetable Valentine's edition. We got together before this. Actually, we didn't get together. It was like an email overnight. Like, hey, we should totally do this. And on the spirit of everybody has lists, is come up with a list of the 3 things that are really meaningful to us. We have our rose, we have our chocolates, and then we have the unvalentines. Sorry to those who get the unvalentines, but they're coming. It's being flung.
Well, I thought it was like a love shaped chocolate.
Oh, it's a chocolate, all right.
Love means different things to different people.
So I figured we'd come in here, do something a little different, talk about some things that are impacting us, and then a little commentary, and then of course,
I think we should have it now.
I really do think so.
Sort of kind of get things moving. But
I really do think so. Yes.
Would you like to lead us off?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So I think we're going to start off with what we're sweet on. So I'll kick us off. There has been an article that's been floating around. It's an article that's about a year old, written by McKinsey. It's the let me see if I remember correctly. It's the 5 trademarks of Agile organizations, and we'll probably, I'd like to put the link out there for the folks when we're talking about it.
All right.
But for me, I really, really loved it because it confirms a lot of the things that we hear from the Agile community about the root causes of all the struggles that we see in organizations, large organizations that are trying to make these changes from a Taylorist or mechanical style to more dynamic and more organic. And talking about some of the key things like the strategy, the structure, the people. And the thing that really hit me the most was the technology. And I know a lot of organizations out there with legacy code are dealing with really old technology and aren't really taking the time to invest into it. And what's happening is that they're losing the war for good talent, because guess what? Good talent doesn't want to work in shit code. So I highly suggest this article. Read through it. I shared it. Yeah, it's a year old, but it really gives you an idea of what are those 5 trademarks for a good Agile organization if you are one of those organizations looking to make the leap. So to the authors in that article, there was a lot of them, but I know it's from McKinsey, and we've got a good friend in McKinsey. I give you my chocolates because I am sweet on you.
Wow. I didn't know we were going that far.
So I want to ask this question. So you were talking about it, and I'm here watching and looking at my chocolates and roses.
And I was messing around.
So can you summarize it real quickly? What are you sweet on about that article?
It really just calls it as it is. Like it gave some details on why these organizations are having struggles, like rapidly changing technology. Investor needs are changing very fast. Customer needs are changing very fast. It's a lot of the things that we say that are like, when we go into the Agile community, it's very basic. It's the that's why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. But it really explains it in a way that I think that an executive in an large organization that's looking to make that dynamic change can read and consume and be like, that makes total sense. It translates very well, especially with the way that they explain how organizations have produced products, and we've talked about this using what Ford and Taylor and all these guys created and have done it for 100 years.
Right.
And now the digital revolution has come, And now that paradigm is shifting.
Yeah.
How are they shifting? How well are they shifting?
I think you answered the question I was going to ask you about, is what differentiates it from the gazillion other articles that are out there.
yeah.
But it sounds like it's particularly poignant, like it's on point with how this applies to digital.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Charles is sweet on an article.
That's okay.
Always. Always.
It's this judge-free zone.
So hand it to you. I'm just floating along.
Okay, really, you're not just okay. So mine is also a written piece, "The Lean Farm." It's a book by Ben Hartman, and yes, I'm sweet on Ben now. What I like about it so much is he takes you through what it takes to be an organic farmer, delivering food to restaurants, and he brought a friend in who knows about lean, and they helped him lean down how he gets food to market. And so there's a ton of books, and of course the long history of lean in the manufacturing space, right? And people try to use the metaphors of manufacturing and try to liken it to what we do in software development, but that works to a certain degree, but it starts to break down. There's just things we do in thought development of writing code and building software that just don't happen on the shop floor, right? But this is he's talking about what he does a great piece on the carrot, like how to lean down what it takes to get a carrot from a seed through the ground and to the table so that he gets the lowest possible expense. So the lowest overhead to get a carrot to table. Because we all know that when you go to like Whole Foods or wherever, you're spending $4 on a carrot, right? And he knows he can get $4 for that carrot, but he'd like to not spend $4 to make that carrot.
Yeah.
Or not $3.98. He would like to have a big margin. And so came up with all these lean ways to, and he goes through the 5 S's, which are the ways to sort and standardize and clean up your space, right? I'm not going to go through all the 5 S's, but he goes through all of them. But in terms of like your farm, like how you would work at home, you can use this book for leaning up the way you do your own life, but also the way you work with your teams. It talks about the highly visual nature of really being truly lean, and but then also he goes deep into the mechanics of how to get how to spend less to deliver more faster. And I just found it really a fascinating book. And it's thin, it's a fast read, and I, of course, farming is near and dear to my heart, and so he does just an amazing job.
Yeah, I find amazing how all of these concepts are bleeding in. Like you said, started in manufacturing, and now it's just bleeding into so many other things so easily.
Yeah, it really is. I think the one that just sticks in my head is this concept of, if you've got a garden at home, don't buy a bunch of specialty tools, because then you've got to maintain a bunch of specialty tools. Try to generalize as much as possible.
Interesting.
And then you keep your tools at the garden. Don't keep them in a shed somewhere else that you got to go dig through and find the right tools that you need. You know that there are those 4 tools that you always use in the garden, right? The rake, the hoe, the shovel, and the little spade, hand spade. Keep those at the garden. Why are you going and having to get them every time?
It's a darn good point.
Yeah.
I never thought of that
And
way.
he just has a bunch of those, and I'm like, oh my God. And then the idea of getting rid of waste, which goes really well with code. Don't write wasted code. Don't write something that's just going to sit and take up space. And his idea is, it hurt a little because I have all this scrap lumber that I keep stacked up. I'm going to use it one day. And he's like, if your stacks of lumber or stacks of materials that you are sure you're going to use someday are getting in the way of you actually, if you have to spend an hour searching through it,
oh God,
time, it would be easier to just go get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if I throw all that lumber away, I'm not going to throw all my lumber away. I'm still not, but I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to I have it sorted so it's easier to find what I'm looking for.
God.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense. I've never thought of that.
And then when you start trying to apply those as metaphors to what we do in the space with a team, it just exponentially unfolds, and you're like, I'm having an epiphany. So, 2, Ben Hartman, I give you my candies.
We're all sweet on Ben. Sweet Ben.
So I'm sitting with, in my mind, two giants right here. So I don't know how to follow this great, well, I don't know what you call those great things that you guys have. So I'm really simple. I'm actually following along on this today. I'm just like, I'm really off it. I have no clue what I'm doing here. I'm just listening and I'm just following along. So sweet on. So to me, it's a simple things. It's just based on my experiences. This is to the folks that's out there that is willing to say, I don't know, and I'm willing to try.
God, that's
a good one. For a guy who didn't come prepared, came out swinging.
You didn't come prepared. Yeah, right.
So, and this is a challenge that dear and hard to me is like to observe, to go through and work with multiple different teams. And I go to one team and I know Agile, and they keep saying that they know Agile, they know this, they know that. Yeah. And when you try to help them improve, they're like, no, we got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't improve.
Yep.
And then I go to a team that absolutely is like, hey, Richard, we have no clue. Tell us what to do. We'll do that. We'll try them. And in the end, they get more results.
Well, they're open-minded. They understand. They know their limitations, or they know where it's like, hey, I don't know, but I'm willing to figure it. And you know what? It takes a lack of fear to fail to say that. Because that is really making yourself vulnerable, saying, I don't know.
Embodying one of the principles. Transparency, right?
And not just individual on the teams. What's interesting is you got managers that's willing to say, I don't know, Richard.
Wow.
You tell me.
That's a big one.
I'm going to follow. Tell me why. Tell me how. And then you get success that way. And you see them going really fast. And that's amazing.
I ran into someone like that the other day. And you're right. It totally warms your heart. You're like, yes, I know I can help you because you're admitting I don't know.
Yeah,
that's so good.
So to all of you people out there, not one, I don't know, I don't have a name for you. You know who you are. That you're willing to take the risk of saying I don't know, and the risk of failing and trying it, and that's what I give to you.
Man, that was fantastic.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. It's almost Roseworthy, but.
Almost.
I'm
excited to see what the rose is going to be.
All right, so next.
All right, my unvalentines. Quick hot take on this one. There was, again, hot on an article again, but it brought up a really good point. I do want to call out the author because he did a really good job, and I'm going to totally, if we tag him on here, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to totally destroy your name. I'm sorry. But it was Gunther Verheyen. Great article on the illusion of agility, and what he was talking about. I think I saw you on that one too. And basically, what it was, again, there's a theme to what I'm going with today is with organizations going through these transformations. Some organizations are out there trying to take shortcuts. And they're taking the same approaches that they used to back in the day where it was like, oh, competitors doing this, I'm just going to copy them. I'm going to mimic. I'm going to read an article. Oh, let's do that. I'm going to bring in a consultant and they're going to install top to bottom this particular framework instead of looking at it and being dynamic. And when they do this, they give this illusion out to their employees, their stakeholders, their customers. We're agile, we're doing agile, we're more flexible, we're more dynamic. So they set this very high aspiration, and because all they're doing it is in name only and not in principle and in spirit, all it ends up doing is causing frustration because guess what? They are not living by anything that they're saying that they're gonna do. Customers are upset. Here's another thing that he called out that was really interesting is they still continue to focus on quantity instead of the value that they're giving.
Yeah.
And I think that is, again, going back to the theme of Taylorism back in the day with what we're doing now with the digital revolution is people are more focused on value. It's like, hey, you can give me all the quantity you want, or you could focus on delivery all the time, but if you're not giving me what I need, big freaking deal. So to those companies out there that are looking at, making this dynamic change and going to Agile and you're just doing it in name only, you're just carbon copying what's on a piece of paper or a consultant told you to do it, and you're not being honest and understanding the journey that you have to go through, that's going to be tough, you're going to fail, and it's okay to fail. You learn from it. But if you're not doing that and you're just doing it in name, unvalentine for you.
Nice. So, do you want to go next?
No, you.
Okay, so my unvalentine is the entire internet.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty close. No. So, really, my struggle is the certifying bodies in the Agile space, right? Do we really need a certifying body that says, okay, a person's at a particular level or a person's qualified to do a certain thing? I think that we do. I think we need that. And the problem is, if you go to the internet and you ask, who's the certifying body for Agile? You're going to get 10 different answers.
Oh, yeah.
And what's worse is even the organizations themselves. And basically it's the internet and also those organizations. Someone needs to step up and say, look, we're the principal certifying body, because you've got Scrum.org, you've got of course Scrum Alliance, you've got. SAFE is now claiming to be sort of one of the kingpins, and it's borrowed from everything. Then you've got there's a million other organizations out there that are claiming to be there's the international organization. One I noticed today was the International Consortium of Agile.
Yes.
So there's another one, and probably of great value, but it's very Eurocentric and it's not helping. It's not helping anyone. None of these things are helping anyone. So, not that it's a horrible thing, but I wish just get your act together. Someone step up and say, look, can't we just all agree that this is the certifying body?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take, and I'm probably being naive, but either way, to the internet and to those who can't get their act together about what is the certifying body, I unvalentine you. I won't say that. I'm giving you a turd.
Okay, so this is going to be a lot easy for me.
Sure.
Because I'm the copycat right now. All right, I'm just a copycat. So whatever this guy say is actually what I had in mind. So the message out there, if you guys are just doing things because you're following a framework, if you don't know what problem you're trying to solve, if you don't know why you're doing those three things, I would say stop. Don't even give a shit about anything. Shit. Remember this? Shit. Right? Just stop. Please stop. What's the problem you're trying to solve? Don't just copy somebody else. Know what you're doing. And for goodness sake, you know what? We're all different. Every organization is different. We cannot take one implementation from one place and go to the other side. We cannot copy Spotify the way it is because it's not a framework. Spotify is just a try.
It really is, yeah.
A try in their work. That's what they did. So if you want to do it right, if you don't want this shit, please don't just copy.
Can I change my answer? Can I change my unvalentine?
At you.
That's pretty good talk.
Yours is better. Mine, yeah. I want to change mine, but yeah, to what he said. That's mine.
Yeah,
all right. So I'd like to give a rose. I'm going to try to do it. No, that's not good. To all of the organizations out there.
Okay. Before you give the rose, what's the difference between the rose and the chocolate?
So the chocolate is something you're sweet on. A rose, so chocolate I think is how I saw it.
Yeah.
Chocolate was a little more broad. And where a rose is something it's recent. It's like love. It's something that's just recently sort of kissed you on the cheek. And so it's late. It's just recently warmed the cockles of your heart.
Oh my God.
And so mine is to all of the groups out there that are taking the Agile Manifesto and the values and just on their own. It's like a craze. It seems to be sweeping the internet and sweeping every conference that I go to. People are realizing that they can rewrite the values and rewrite the principles to match their customer and their product. I thought I was all original when I came up with that for the thing that I did. Turns out lots of people are doing it now. So to them, I give a rose because you're being brave and you're trying something new, yet you're sticking close and pure, I think purer, to the Agile principles. You're not throwing them away. You're not picking and choosing. You're choosing to take them as a whole, but rewrite them to match your customer. I give you a rose.
Do you want to jump in? Come on, you know. All right, my rose. This is actually something that I've been hearing about lately with organizations that have adopted Agile, Scrum specifically. I guess I remember when I started on this journey, there really wasn't a commitment to the idea of a team coach slash Scrum Master. I'm going to call Scrum Alliance will jump on me for saying this, but I think that the term Scrum Master might be getting a little outdated, and it's like it kind of pigeonholes them into Scrum. Yeah. But really, a team coach should be very familiar with all the Agile frameworks that are out there, the lean and all that. Okay. But I think that what I've been hearing lately and hearing organizations that are committing to having these team coaches working one-on-one with teams, not a one-to-many or half developer, half team coach kind of deal. Like the commitment and understanding that it's necessary. It's in the way that things are changing. We need these individuals that have these talents, that have this ability that it's not tangible. It's really not. It's not going to affect bottom line. But they have the ability to bring teams together. And I know that I jumped on that poor guy on Jeopardy for saying that, but he was absolutely right. That bring teams together and enable them to do. I did. I'm sorry, dude on Jeopardy. But he said it right. They enable them to do awesome things. And I was going to go on a tirade about, the Patriots and, they're Bill Belichick, the best coach in NFL history, has always just been a head coach. And he's won 6 Super Bowl titles, and all he's ever had to focus on is my team. He's not the offensive coordinator and coach and defensive coordinator. He's not any of that. He is just a coach. He trusts his fellow coaches. He trusts his team. And there's a reason why it breaks my heart that they've won 6 Super Bowl titles in, God knows, in 18 years and have been the best franchise in history. So we could learn something in the business world, in software, about what role a coach plays. Whether it be an Agile coach, whether it be a professional coach, whatever it is, give them the opportunity, listen to the theme that I've put out there, which is things are changing, paradigms are shifting. If you don't make that change, you're going to get lost in the wake. So my rose is to those organizations that have seen that, recognize that, and are doing something about it. For you, my friends.
Wow, he says one of those things. All right, so this one is, maybe I'm self-centered on this one, but it's going to be self-centered right now. So for those of you that, what I like is this, is Agile doesn't work without feedback. None of our stuff work without feedback. We can't improve without feedback. So this is for all of the followers that's out there that's giving us feedback. For those that follow the Master Asian Core channel, lately I've got a lot of positive feedback from all of you.
Awesome.
And just saying, hey, good job, thank you, continue doing what you're doing. And this is it. To me, it's for saying that. Now, not just to everybody that says the nice thing, but also to the ones that says you suck.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how I improve. That is how we learn.
Yeah.
So to me,
as long as they say why we suck. If they just say you suck, that's not helpful. But if they give us specific.
That's right. So gotta be specific. Right? So this is a thank you. This is the rose for all of you that did that.
Absolutely.
And also this. Please comment and tell us what you think. I mean, really, the feedback is here. What do you guys want from us? What do you guys like about it? You want me to sign up and sing, which I can't. Anything what you guys want to do.
You should do it. So there's a little subscribe button.
Do it.
The subscribe button.
We still have the 50.
I know.
We need to get the 50 for the banjo.
So for the banjo challenge, we're close to it. We're at 38 right now.
If we get to
need 12
50,
more.
if we get to 50, I will learn a song and I will make it an Agile related song.
Oh yes.
You realize it's going to be a bluegrass tune with just Agile lyrics replaced. But I will learn a song, and so that's at 50. What, at 75, you're going to sing?
I don't know yet.
You're going to sing a song?
We'll see.
That would be awesome. But smash the subscribe button. Just thumb, your big fat thumb or your pinky or whatever it takes. Mouse over it, whatever you're doing.
If you like it, tell your family to subscribe. Family of ours, why haven't you subscribed yet?
Right? Right? I know certain family members have said, hey, I really enjoyed that. Well, why don't you subscribe? Because it might get better.
You just got called out. So this is our special edition for the Valentine's Day. You probably see this on Valentine's Day. And I'm in pink. And it's partly because it's Chinese New Year.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. It's the year of
The year of the pig.
The year of the pig.
The year of the pig.
All right, goodness. But well, wait, before we go, are we done? Are we done? Okay, because I was just going to say next, so we can give somebody a teaser.
Yes.
So we have one of two options. I'm going to throw out my options. One of them is I will play the role of people who are resistant to Agile, wearing my dinosaur costume.
Oh my God.
So that's one.
Oh my God.
That's tempting. That's tempting.
Okay, good. And the other is instead of getting the champagne made me think of this. If we have a full drinking version of this, and it's lubricated Agile, ribbed with humor for everyone's pleasure. No, come on. Actually, viewers or subscribers or everybody,
tell us what you want. Which one do you want?
Dinosaur costume. I'll be playing the role, and I will be I will do all the arguments or their resources. They should have enough bandwidth. All their terminology, and I will be in a dinosaur costume, or we sit here and we drink enough so that it helps lubricate our conversation.
I love it.
Just a little bit more.
Those of you who have subscribed, I know a lot of you. I will be pushing for that answer.
Either one of them is going to be fun because I'm going to be drinking inside that. Just saying.
All right.
That?
I think we're
Bye.
good. C-Rod signing out.
Bye.